So, Valvoline City Raceway, or Speedway, used to be Parramatta City Raceway, and that's why my head's starting to explode here. A billion different names, but Speedway racing has been something that has happened in Australia for a very long time, for decades, and the ability to go to Parramatta and to watch sprint cars go around has been an awesome experience as a Western Sydney lad growing up. It was something I very much enjoyed. It is a spectacular form of racing, but it is also a form of racing that, compared to others, is relatively inexpensive, which means plenty more working class get associated with this particular sport. That raceway and that race circuit, which is just next to one of the main motorways in Sydney, is going to be replaced. It is going to be replaced and turned into a holding yard while the New South Wales government builds an underground railway in and around that part of Western Sydney. The only problem was they didn't tell anyone at this circuit that it was happening until yesterday, when everyone learnt at the same time, including us in the media and the wider public, and that is what is worth talking about here with Wade Aunger from the raceway, and he joins us now. Hello, mate. Lovely to see you. That in and of itself, because look, they've come out today and done the big promise that we're going to build you something somewhere else, but you're in the middle of a negotiation. Can we stay here? Will we stay here for a while? They don't tell you, look, to be honest, this might be something we're going to use for a train line. Instead, you learn about it along with everyone else. Tell us about your day yesterday.
Well, I think if I had a DeLorean, I'd either like to drive it or drive it over someone right now because we'd like to go back to the future as well. It's a remarkable turn of events, Paul. Everything you just said about Valvoline Raceway is true. It's been there since 1977-78 season is when it started. 42 consecutive years in the same location right next to the M4 motorway. And it's been a massive generator of tourism, of revenue, of transport, of worldwide, exposure for that entire time. So, remarkably, for the last 2 years, Barry and Felicity Waldron, who own the lease to the Speedway, have been trying to negotiate with the Lands Council to basically get a 30-year extension. Our lease runs out currently in 2026. So the plan was to extend that lease to guarantee us some surety going forward in the future. So since 2017, Felicity Waldron in particular has been like a terrier dog, smashing away saying, when do we get an answer? We need to plan. What are we doing? We'll come back to you. We understand it's a frustrating situation. We'll come back to you. Well, last year in August, we were promised an answer. Fast forward another month. We get to this year, and then we're told December 20, we'll be told. And then yesterday, out of the blue, the phone rings at the track and our office manager answers the phone and she's told, hi, it's some such and such from Sydney Metro, and did you know that your speedway is being demolished? Wow. That's it.
So, I mean, instantly then you've got to work out how to respond. There's been pretty good local media coverage instantly about it, and I think that the ferocity of the response, front page of the Telegraph, Ray Hadley straight onto it, lots of talk on lots of radio stations, and I would imagine a lot of that is to do with your good self and your own advocacy, has meant that the government jumps in quickly and says, all right, we're going to, and well done, mate, that's why they pay you, and it's a good thing for it, is that they turn around and they're going to apparently build you an alternative one somewhere, but it's not that easy just to build a speedway track, is it?
You know, if I could just borrow a line from a great Australian film, my name's Dale Kerrigan, and this is my story. I mean,
I love you.
Really, Paul, honestly, mate, and it was bizarre. Yesterday at the track after the news, we were sort of gathering around and some of the local business owners sort of wandered in, and I swear I was looking for Varuk. I was honestly waiting for him to bowl in and say, Apekesh. You know that, what is it about wogs and cash? And I was thinking, surely this is a joke, surely they would give us at least some sort of idea in advance that this might be in the case. And there was people that had just signed up to their businesses for a 5-year deal, literally only last week, and they're going to us, please help us. So all of a sudden, I think we've become the big brother of this really heartbroken community in that region that's going, what do we do now? What you're saying is true, but we didn't hear about the new Speedway, until this afternoon when the Daily Telegraph, with the journalists that we're dealing with there, sent me the press release that the government issued. So they didn't even tell us in advance, look, by the way. Now, I think the frustrating thing about all this, Paul, if you go back in the 2-year process that Felicity's been dealing with this, the government, is at some point when you've got a $20 billion project, surely that takes a little longer than, say, even 6 months or 12 months to start, you know, working through. So you've got to imagine that back in 2017, when we submitted our application for an extended lease, somebody probably should have said in the last 2 years, just, whoa, there's a little bit of a chance there might be a driverless train system sitting on the place that you're looking to race in 2025.
Yeah, correct. I mean, look, I want people, and I say this respectfully because I am one. I'm a cashed-up bogan, right? But
yeah.
One of the joys of this sport is that it is a good working-class sport, and it is at the lighter end when it comes to how much money you can spend in the world of motorsport.
Yeah.
And you know, I know that, you know, the Dumsney family, lots of others that have been there over the years, that you know, they've gone all in. They've gone all in on this stuff, and they have for generations. Give me an idea about the type of money and the type of commitment most people would throw at this particular form of sport.
Well, we saw today, you know, young Caden Brown brought his speaker down. He's 18 years of age. He won an Australian title at 17. He's the youngest person to ever do that. His old man, Mark Brown, is one of the gritty war dogs of our sport who raced for close to 30 years himself, and he raced after his father raced. Now, a speed car engine can set you back up to $60,000, a brand new one out of the States. That's just in a speed car. So in a sprint car situation, there were several cars there today that would run, as they were sitting there, $110,000, $120,000. When you throw in a transporter into the mix as well, and spares, and a spare car, and a spare motor, there are teams in our pits, Paul, that have $500,000 inside that truck. You know, it's a big thing. But then nobody is more important than anyone else in that pit area. There are people that have a street stock and a fender bender and a lightning sprint and a compact speaker. Those kind of classes too, comparatively, they have 500 grand tied up in what they have to spend as well. It's all a sliding scale, and they're all as important as each other. And that's what we found today. We had over 500 people today come to our rally to sort of stand there and go, this isn't right. You know, this is, you know, the old Bud Tidwell line about on just terms. We all remember that. Well, I saw that in an email today and I went, holy cow. I thought that the castle was a comedy. Turns out it's actually a horror story.
Yeah, and a documentary in your case too. Look, what a pleasure to talk to you. Let's keep talking, and I look forward to coming out with a camera to the Speedway sooner rather than later. I do like, by the way, that there will be, at some point in time in the next couple of years, the biggest demolition derby ever, where you'll be able to take out the stands, you'll be able to take out everything. It'll be, you know, bring a dunny night. It'll be massive. It'll be massive.
You're a sick man, Paul, and that's why we love you, mate.
Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Good on you, Wade. All the best.
Cheers.